seems like talking about politics is inevitable in today's world. News stations blast support for President Trump, and the Democratic debates are in full swing, with the election coming up. However, many politicians today use rhetoric that can mislead voters. It's a common belief that politicians are untrustworthy, and when they use misleading rhetoric, it can cause citizens to be unclear on what they are actually voting for. The government should implement rules that will eliminate harmful rhetoric and make sure politicians are being ethical speakers. So to start, let's look at two common types of rhetoric used in politics. One of the most popular types is ad hominem. Ad hominem is known as an attack on another person rather than on their argument. This is one of the most common types of rhetoric in politics, according to political researcher Jacques Gerstl. Many politicians use this in their campaign ads that air on TV. Let's look at an example. So this increased negativity can attract media attention and have the two competitors get more attention because of the disputes. However, this can be extremely harmful and lead voters to become hostile. Think of people who are against Hillary Clinton chanting "lock her up," or people creating violence at political rallies. Another rhetorical device that is constantly used in politics is pathos, or the appeal to emotion. According to political researcher Alessandro Nye, this is used to primarily create feelings of anger or anxiety in people. This misuse of pathos can lead to audiences being manipulated to believe something untruthful or cause them to take action when necessary. For example, Donald Trump has consistently used fear as a tool to inspire voters to keep voting conservative. In an article by Tessa Berenson, a political reporter, she describes how Trump illustrates the fear of socialist rule and how America could be like the fallen country of Venezuela if Democrats come to power. Rhetoric itself is an excellent tool for speaking, but many can take it way too far. Hence, regulating rhetoric in politics should be necessary. Keeping politicians honest and making sure they deliver on what they promise people is what should be a top priority today. By making sure politicians are not using harmful rhetoric in their speeches, there should be certain guidelines on what is okay and what is not. For example, eliminating the use of ad hominem and fear-mongering would vastly improve politics. Instead of attacking each other, politicians should focus on passing policies and laws to help improve America. Regulation is needed because it seems like in society today, it is all negativity and counterproductive to actually solving problems. So by regulating rhetoric and forcing politicians to be ethical speakers, it can rebuild relationships between civilians and politicians. Having voters know what they are actually voting for will improve the trust between people and politicians. If a person knows what a politician truly stands for and not falling for the false rhetoric, that they will be able to trust the politician and what they need. In Communication Matters by Corey Floyd, he talks about the rhetorical device ethos. Ethos is described as establishing credibility and convincing the audience that the speaker has their best interest at heart. And by not focusing on their opponent, the politicians can deliver on their promises and show that they care about the people rather than just getting elected. We need guidelines on rhetoric in politics today because in today's world it has become more about attacking the opponents and showing their weak side rather than focusing on what the politicians themselves want to deliver for the country. To conclude, misleading rhetoric in politics is harmful and we must do something about it. By establishing guidelines to keep politicians honest and ethical speakers, relations between politicians and people will improve. The voters will be able to trust the politicians, and now, instead of distracting voters with rhetoric, they can focus on their campaign and fulfilling the promises that they made.